Today's Dallas Cowboys Report is presented by Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping on all of their incredible top-of-the-line men's grooming products when you go over to manscaped.com and you use promo code Cowboys. That link, by the way, in the comment section and in the description. We're previewing the Week 11 matchup as the Dallas Cowboys hit the road to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Dallas has the better record. They have the NFL's best scoring offense as we film this one, and a top 10 scoring defense. That tends to happen when you win 43-3 over a team that might just make the playoffs. Who knows? The Chiefs, though, however, at home, are a 2-point favorite. Now, I am excited to see, and maybe curious is a better word there, how that line changes. It actually opened at 2.5. It quickly got betted down to 2. It might see some ebbs and flows throughout. Remember, Dallas, only one game this year. They've failed to cover the spread. That was, of course, the disaster that was their game against the Denver Broncos. They've been one of the better teams this year against the spread, but they are road dogs against KC. The Cowboys, much like KC, have won 4 of their last 5. They blew out the Giants, survived and won in overtime against New England, surprised and beat the Vikings, then surprised and lost against Denver, and then bounced back better than anyone could have imagined a 40-point win over the Falcons in Week 10. The Chiefs, meanwhile, have not been the prime Chiefs, or maybe the peak Chiefs is the better phrase there. Admittedly, a tough schedule. Barely beat the Browns, narrow losses to the Ravens, lost to a Chargers team the Cowboys beat, also beat a Philly team the Cowboys beat by more, blown out by Buffalo, and that game against the Bills kind of set some, the offense not looking quite perfect. They did beat the Washington football team in Week 6. They got blown out by the Titans, by the way, a pretty embarrassing showing. They're only scoring 3 points. Barely beat the Giants. Barely beat a Packers team that did not have Aaron Rodgers, and then bounced back in a pretty massive way, much like the Cowboys did, with a win at the Raiders in a blowout contest. My concern/fear right now is, are the Chiefs now back? Because I kind of suspect that they might be. To be fair, the Raiders' defensive scheme was very different than what other teams have done well against KC. I would run a lot of too high coverage, make them dink and dunk against you. I don't know, maybe that's the way to go about it. The Chiefs, though, looking a bit better than the team we saw in the midpoint of the season. So I want you guys, before I make my official score prediction, to predict the score at the pinned comment as the Cowboys hit the road to take on Kansas City. As I mentioned, this is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, head down there and get your score predictions in. The Cowboys might be an underdog, but give me them to get a W this week, 30-28. The Cardiac Cowboys have taken a couple weeks off. I think they come back this week against the Chiefs in what should be, and hopefully is a win in the end, one of the better games this week in the NFL. Let's talk Tyron Smith and his status for this game. Smith has missed the last 2 games for Dallas with what has been termed by Dr. Jerry as a bone spur in his ankle. The Cowboys say he doesn't need surgery. It's rest, rehab, and pain management. Okay, McCarthy says this is not a long-term issue, but Smith's Week 11 status is unclear right now. It is early in the week, make no mistake about that, but we'll see. If I had to guess one way or the other, I would lean towards no, but it's still early. I hope I am wrong on that one. He does have a better chance of playing than he did last week. I never thought he was going to play. I'll say there's a chance that Tyron's out there this week. If he cannot go, Terrence Steele will once again be this team's left tackle. He was much better, not perfect, this week at left tackle. His season stats per Pro Football Focus at left tackle versus right tackle. I'll make note I am cheating on the average. It's not a 1-to-1 grade because the snap counts are different plays matter more, etc. But that's just the games at left tackle, the run grade average versus the games at right tackle, run grade average. Bad last week. much better this week. I still think more comfortable at right tackle, but another week of practice on the left side for Terrence Steele should result in him feeling better and playing better on the offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys this week. Overall, the O-line did a pretty damn good job in pass protection, did not get beat very often. Couple plays that they allowed, Connor Williams got beat bad, maybe the worst he's gotten beat in maybe since the Michael Brockers Aaron Donald game last year. Worked by Grady Jarrett on one rep, but overall, you score 43 points basically in 2.5 quarters. You can't complain too much overall about the offensive line in that one. But back to Tyron. Another prediction question for you guys. Will he play this week? I lean towards no. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe you want to speak some positivity in the comments section. Type in Y for yes, he will play, N for no, he will not. Today's show is powered by Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping on all of Manscaped's incredible top-of-the-line men's grooming products. You can get 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and you utilize promo code Cowboys to make your lives easier and help you have some success off the field. I will put that link and the promo code in the comment section for you guys. Manscaped 4.0, the Lawnmower 4.0, they did it for Dak, and you should too. Manscaped.com. Use that promo code Cowboys. Speaking of Dak Prescott, he has outplayed Patrick Mahomes this year, full stop. There's no buts involved there. Completing a blistering 70% of his passes, Prescott looks like one of the best, if not the outright best, quarterbacks from a pre-snap perspective. You can just ask the Falcons how they felt about that one. A damn good, by the way, 20-5 touchdown to interception ratio. He has been one of the most accurate passers in the NFL this year. And oh, by the way, he missed a game as well. Patrick Mahomes looked certainly back last week against the Raiders. I hope that ends up not continuing, but I kind of think it's going to. He has been forced to check it down a bit more frequently than he has in the past. We'll see what the Cowboys' defensive game plan is. I'll say this, though. I do trust Dan Quinn right now, which I think many of us do. Now, how worried are you about Mahomes? And be honest with me. Don't just say one. You're lying. He's Patrick Mahomes. At some point, he'll get back to being the number one quarterback in the NFL, which he has not been this year. So how worried are you guys? Scale this for me 1 to 10 in the comments section. Now, Cowboys play the Chiefs this week. Duh. I will be back after my wife's birth in time for the watch party as the Cowboys take on Kansas City. I don't want Harrison to win that one. I don't want him to be, celebrating a Chiefs win. I want the Cowboys to be celebrating. So I'll be back for that game. Subscribe now so you don't miss out on our Cowboys-Chiefs watch party. Another minor injury note here for the Dallas Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb. He did leave the game, technically speaking, late with what the team called an arm contusion. He actually left the game, came back, left again. It was a blowout. He was not bothered whatsoever post-game. He was having a decent time out there rocking, no sleeves, smiling, enjoyed himself. Frankly, he actually probably hurt Dak more with that little cheek bruise when he headbutted him, not losing Dak wasn't wearing a helmet. Awareness, CeeDee. Be better, my man. Look, it was a blowout. I'm not worried at all about Lamb. Neither should you be. Now, hopefully, in the near future, the Cowboys get back some of their key contributors on the defensive side of the ball. 3 preseason starters remain out for Dallas. Randy Gregory got to miss at least 2 more games. DeMarcus Lawrence and Neville Gallimore can come back at any point. And I'll make this note, by the way, right now. The Cowboys, they don't have to use the 21-day window. I've seen some confusion there. Once they are designated to return, the Cowboys have a 21-day window in which those guys can practice and then play without counting against the active roster. That doesn't have to be the case. So they could come back at any point. I would love around Thanksgiving for Tank and or Gallimore to be back at that point. That'd be my fingers crossed goal right now for Dallas. Others on injured reserve. Maurice Kennedy, Brent Urban, they can come back whenever. I don't know how close they are. It was a concussion for Maurice Kennedy. Urban has I think it was a triceps. Was it a biceps? One of the two. one of the Seps injuries. I'd like them to come back, but got a numbers crunch there. Blake Jarwin out at least one more game. Josh Ball at this point, I think, is a redshirt year stash on IR. Back to those defensive starters, though. Who is the most important of this group? Is it DeMarcus Lawrence? Type in DL. NG? Type in Neville Gallimore. RG for Randy Gregory. I go tank DL, but Randy Gregory is right there with him. I think it's one of those two. Let me know what you guys have to say in the comments section. The Cowboys bounced back after let's be real, a shit show against the Denver Broncos with one of the best wins I've ever seen them have against the Falcons. I will say this. No more overconfidence. You ate the cheese, you smelled your own farts a bit too much, you thought you were great, and it didn't go very well. That's got to stop, and hopefully it continues with proper amounts of confidence moving forward. I will say this about this game. I am worried the Chiefs are back. I'm worried this team is more like the one we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. I hope I'm wrong. We'll find out on Sunday. I will say this as well. It is a start of a brutal stretch for the Dallas Cowboys. They play 3 games in a 12-day span. At Kansas City, home against the Raiders on Thanksgiving, and then at the Saints on Thursday Night Football. That little 3-game run is a very difficult stretch. Those are 3 very possible playoff teams this year. If you can start that stretch off with a win on the road against I think the likely AFC West winner, that is a big deal for the Dallas Cowboys. Hopefully, it ends up being the case.